Can I grow garlic from cloves? Are these mushrooms going to grow? And how big can my garden get? And isn't bacon already smoked today on What the Homestead? To start with, I got 2 new raised garden beds to add to the garden. Yes, my garden is getting bigger and bigger, which I kind of don't mind because I found that when I started the garden in the spring, I only had a few beds and I was really shoving the plants in there, kind of overcrowding them, if you will. So I decided I'd get 2 new beds. I put a cardboard down and below them, and I bought some new dirt. Yes, I bought dirt. Even though I had plenty of compost, I put down some whatever this is to stop the weeds from growing in, right? So between that on the bottom and the cardboard on the bottom, which will turn into compost, putting the dirt on top, it seemed like a good idea to me. It seemed like the way to go. Now, like I said, I do have a couple compost buckets, but they've been sitting and they're probably hot right now, and I'm going to let them sit all winter. So in the spring, I should have free dirt and not have to buy dirt anymore. I'll just go to my compost pots and instead of opening bags and pouring dirt into one of these, I'll just pour my compost turned to dirt into there. This is the garden as it stands right now. I have some eggplants and some sweet potatoes growing. I have some basil and some peppers growing, and I have some broccoli because it's winter. Here's where I'm putting the garlic. I'm going to put some collard greens here. I have strawberries from the spring. I have some other peppers and some carrots starting to grow here. Potatoes, okra, which is just about at the end of the season, and I started some nettle and some more sweet potatoes, and that last one right there is going to be mustard greens. So the garlic. I do want to grow garlic. We use a lot of garlic in my house, seemingly. I went to the store and I just bought, and this was organic garlic, and it already even had a little sprout on it. So I just decided I'm going to peel this apart, break it apart, and I'm going to see if I can get my garlic to grow just from a couple of store-bought cloves. So I got a little glass jar, and I'm like, I know I want to put the bottom parts facing down so that they root and the little sprouts facing up. But what I found was it's really difficult to get them to, I dumped it out. I had to start over again. I'm like, I've got to get these things. How can I get this to work? So I decided I would tilt the little glass jar and place them in and thinking this would work even better. And it worked slightly better until I got a little overcrowded, and then maybe I thought that the glass jar was a little too big. So I got a smaller one, and I thought I can just hold them in place, and if I can stuff enough of them in there, I'll get them. And that didn't work either. So that's 3 times there, probably 4 times. I didn't even show another time when I did it. Dumped them out. Got to start over again. Then I got smart. I thought, let me get a paper towel. And I just wet the paper towel. And I'm like, that'll hold them in place. And I'll eventually take the paper towel out. But you know what? It did so well, and the paper towel didn't seem to bother them at all, that I decided I would just leave the paper towel in there and get all my cloves standing straight up in there, the paper towel holding them like so, and that's perfect and ready to go. So I let it grow. I have 3 of these from 3 different dates. This first one I'm ready to plant. You can see this is only a couple of days. The roots are already coming up. They've already actually started to sprout, which is crazy. I've got this right here. The peels are starting to come off, and these have roots as well, and I can probably go ahead and plant those. And I've got this new batch that I just started, and these I've just put in there, and that's only been like a day, so there's not roots yet, but I expect in a day or 2 there will be. These just start to grow so quickly. So I got to get out in the garden. I got my new raised bed, and I'm just sticking my finger in there. I'm going down about 4 inches. I saw a video that showed like, how do they grow best? 4 inches, 6 inches, an inch? 4 inches seem good, and 4 inches apart, because they got to grow. You want them to grow into garlics. Now, it is fall here on the homestead, and so I'm not expecting to get this until next year, actually. I'm going to let them sit out all winter, and supposedly the cold is what makes them turn into nice big bulbs. So hopefully it'll get cold. It hasn't gotten cold here. I'm still into November, and they're actually starting to sprout and come up, which I kind of don't want them to do, but what am I going to do, right? So we'll let those sit there, and we'll see in the spring. Hopefully I'll have nice big bulbs. I saw this wine caps on a Facebook ad, and it was like one of those things. I'm like, you know what? I don't know much about mushrooms, but I thought, let me get them and see if I can grow them. Now again, it's like when I got these was like October, right? It said to take a 5-gallon bucket of water, fill it up, and then you're going to take these mushroom spores and put them in there, and you're going to let them soak for a little while. So I can follow directions. I poured them in, filled up that bucket of water, and along with my dirt, I bought some peat moss, because I'm like, well, what can you grow these things in? And I was told old wood chips, but I thought maybe peat moss might work really good because I thought it would hold water well. And this could be the issue. I don't know that I had, but I did do the peat moss, and it holds water really good. It gets really soggy, so I put some water on top there. That's my spores, actually, spore water getting spread around. And then what I did is I thought, well, I need some wood chips, right? So I watered all that down, got it nice and mushy, and I went over to the little woods there, and I got some palm plants, actually. And I'm going to put some of those on top. I had this idea that I would leave the plastic bag on top because it would hold the moisture in, but then I thought about the palm leaves idea. So I got some leaves, poured them on top, gave that some more water, and guess what? Nothing happened. They didn't grow. I tried even growing them in the house. I don't know if it's the peat moss or the fact that it's just getting too cold. So hopefully, maybe they'll pop up. I'm going to try again in the spring. Next, my wife said, you know what we need to do? We need to smoke bacon. And my neighbor was like, bacon's already smoked. And I'm like, well, I'm going to smoke it. Because that's what my wife, happy life, people. So I got the coals going in the smoker. I got some nice wood that I got last year from a fellow who watches my fishing channel, and he brought this down to me. Nice hardwood chunks. I have only used it a couple times. I haven't used it for bacon, that's for sure. So I dropped those on top of the coals. Put them in a little water to keep them, they smoke instead of burning. You do put water in between the smoke. I think it's supposed to keep, you can't just use water. I put some Blue Moon in there too. Blue Moon beer and Blue Moon bacon. That sounds good to me. The water is supposed to keep it from getting moist. So now the bacon's ready to go onto the grill on the top part there. Smoke on the bottom, water in between, bacon on top. So the bacon's going on this. I don't know. I like bacon. Who doesn't like bacon? I like smoked stuff. Who doesn't like smoked stuff? So smoky bacon might be good. Put the top on. We'll let it smoke. Here goes some smoke coming out, and we'll just see. I don't think I'm going to leave it on for the usual 2 to 4 hours when I smoke fish or meat. This might only take maybe less than an hour. It's going to be a very short amount of time. I'm going to check it. And when I checked it, it looked nice and delicious, but what I realized is that it was still a little raw on the inside, so I thought I'd just flip it over, put the top back on, and let it sit. And lo and behold, we had some beautiful, yummy, delicious, smoked bacon. That's what we did. What? Who's going to smoke bacon? What's the Homestead?